You talk about your work and your commitment calling to be in the public sector and to work within the government. And I wonder how your life growing up in A-Leaf, the commitment you saw that your parents had to be of service, even seeing how your brother had to navigate and fight when he was diagnosed with cancer and the care that he got. I wonder how all of that shaped your perspective on what service, what policy, what government can do.
I grew up in a household that, very strong, faith-filled household. My dad and my mom were 25, 26 when they had me, but they each had already had a kid separately. So I had two older brothers, half brothers, but in Black community, you have anything, you fool. So, when I was very young, both of my parents were in the military, and over time, my mom left the military and ultimately left the workforce, and so we were on a single family enlisted income, and we had a younger sister, so there were multiple of us in the house. But I just benefited from good government programs, a strong social safety net, which, by the way, a lot of it was created either in the LBJ administration or the Nixon administration. So that's, one Democrat, one Republican, back when we all agreed that a strong safety net was important to ensure that the least and last of us still had their fair shot at the American dream. So we benefited from the WIC program, right? Food for women, infants, and children. We benefited from free lunch. We benefited from VA down payment assistance. And my parents only had to put $500 down. That's how they got their first house, which is so important because if you're required by many of these banks to put 20% down in order to get a loan, with housing costs going through the roof, that is impossible for so many folks across our communities. So they can't even find a house for which they could afford the down payment. And so instead, they're just not able to become homeowners. I went to college on a Pell Grant. And then, of course, I went to law school in my dad's post 9/11 GI Bill. My brother was diagnosed with leukemia when we were younger, and he kind of fought cancer all throughout high school. And I remember very vividly that we never felt like an extreme cost burden because my parents were military. They had TRICARE insurance, which is a very, very good government-sponsored insurance. And all of his chemo, all his radiation, all the tests, the diagnostics, the shots, and ultimately his bone marrow transplant, the one that saved his life, was all fully covered. And the co-pays were nothing. That changed our life. I mean, if my brother would have passed when we were kids, it would have tore the family apart. But even if he would have survived and we had the financial strain of going into debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to afford his treatment, that could have been life-changing. So it always instilled in me the idea that government can be an instrument for good. Government, in some instances, can be life-saving. So to me, government's supposed to be used as an institution to help people. It did that in my life and with my family, and that's how I think about it now that I'm in Congress.